Notice of this meeting was advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is now called to order. Closed session resolution number 128. Roll call.
Ms. Trueblood?
Present.
Ms. Stinney?
Present.
Ms. Skull?
Present.
Ms. Jackson?
Present.
Mr. Allen?
Present. Now this meeting is called to order. Closed session resolution number 128-2015 authorizes council to go into closed session for attorney-client privilege. Council, are there any additions?
No.
Andy?
I have nothing else, Council President.
Okay. Is there a motion for resolution number 128-2015?
I make the motion that resolution 128-2015 for going into closed session.
I second the motion, resolution 128-2015.
Amy, please poll council.
Mrs. Trueblood? I'm sorry, Ms. Jackson.
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Skull?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Council will now go into closed session, and which is now back. There is no formal action necessary pursuant to the closed session. We will now have a presentation on the Fireball competition. Dave?
There's one girl back there.
She's got them all lined up.
And just so the public is aware, the Fireball instructs middle school students throughout the year in both practical fire safety measures and in more technical aspects of firefighting.
We'll just give it a second, Dave. Maybe they're coming right in. Huh? Maybe they're coming right in.
Yeah, maybe.
Hold your horses.
Maybe not.
Who's that? Is it Craig?
I think it's
Yeah.
Craig.
He was just here.
I think they were told 7 o'clock, actually.
Uh,
That might be the issue.
Because of closed session.
Find out from Craig. Yeah, they might have been told 7 o'clock, so we might want to just proceed until...
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Shouldn't be a problem. Nope.
Okay. We will move on to public comments on consent agenda items only.
Agenda item.
Oh, I'm sorry, agenda items only. Mr. Tompkins?
Good evening. Jack Tompkins, Pemberton Heights.
Good evening.
I'm going to apologize because I don't have that much good things to say tonight, so you're not going to hear that probably. I did have a couple questions. 133-2015. It looks like PBA negotiations, and what I'm looking at, it looks like maybe contract negotiations for salary. Can somebody give us like a little bit of a breakdown of how that works out? Is it like a 3% pay raise for the next 5 years, or 1%, or 20%, 1,000%?
This resolution is a collective bargaining agreement between the township and the PBA Local 260. Dennis, do you want to discuss the
Sure. This is the superior officers, which is a 3-member unit, just the 3 lieutenants, and that's it.
Okay.
Their contract expired December 31st of 2014. This is a 3-year contract that was negotiated. The pay increases are 1.5% in 2015, 2% in 2016, 2% in 2017, and there are a number of other language changes that we agreed to.
Okay, any other changes in like benefits, additional sick time?
No additional sick time, no changes, and that's essentially it, except for some language changes on non-financial issues.
Those numbers kind of sound like normal cost of living increases. It's nothing outrageous, so that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other, the public, Ms. Quinn?
Good evening. I have a question. With the 130-2015, are we taking on part of the cost for the Meals on Wheels program with Burlington County for our township?
This, Mr. Council President, if I may, this is in Meals on Wheels. These are the meals that are served at the senior center. We essentially get a grant. The county provides the services and the food, and then we pay them from our grant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion. Should a council member wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the regular agenda. Council, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd like to pull 133.
133. Are there any others? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I second the motion to approve consent agenda as amended.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ms. Skoll, you wish to pull 133-2015?
Yeah, I have concerns about some of the language changes, so I cannot support it. So if anybody else wants to move it, approve it, that's fine.
Is there a motion to approve resolution number 133-2015?
I'll make the motion to approve 133-2015.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion to approve resolution 133-2015.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Skull?
No.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ordinances for introduction. Ordinance number 11-2015. Bond ordinance authorizing various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment in and for the Township of Pemberton, County of Burlington, New Jersey. Appropriating the sum of $1 million, therefore authorizing the issuance of general obligation notes, bonds, or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Pemberton, Burlington, County of Burlington, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $950,000, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. Council, is there any discussion?
Not for me. I had my questions answered. No.
Is there a motion to
I
introduce?
haven't sent my questions over, but I will send them over. It seems like some of the emails that I've been sending over haven't been answered, so I'll take a little time, gather this up, and I'll send my my questions over, or ask them at the next meeting.
Council, is there a motion to introduce?
Well, I do have a couple of questions. Seems to me we bought equipment for the Public Works Department for road paving in the past. Didn't we buy an asphalt roller in the past?
We did. We're looking to purchase a different type of finish roller. It's a different type of roller to get a little different finish on the product. Mind you, they're putting out a very nice product, but you know, part of the plan is to improve our program, and that's what we're looking to do in asking for additional equipment, and such as the truck. We just purchased 2 trucks for this project, but one of the problems we have here in Pemberton in doing our own project is logistics. We're so far away from an asphalt plant that it takes so long in the return to go pick up that asphalt, come back, and with 2 trucks, we've been contracting other trucks to come in because we can't keep up with it, and we can't always get the contractors when we're paving, and that becomes a problem. So we're trying to, and even if council were to approve this purchase of this truck sometime this year, we wouldn't get that till next year because of the lead time on getting a truck. So what we're trying to do is plan ahead on this project. We're trying to get ourselves in a better position so that as we go forward on what has been a very successful project, our road program, we're prepared for whatever comes out our way.
My concern, Mr. President, is that I questioned the materials and the equipment that was bought back when we bought it originally, if it was the appropriate equipment, because I had been told by people who do this for a living every day that we weren't buying appropriate equipment. So that's my concern, because I really, feel like we wasted our money then on whatever it was we bought, and it wasn't the right thing, so.
Now, you're referring to the previous equipment purchase?
Yes.
My question for administration, have you all been in contact with the various department heads, police department, public works, about the equipment that we're potentially going to purchase with the bond? Like the need for the equipment?
Yes, these requests have come from the department heads as to what they need to perfect their projects. Now, what I'd ask is that council keeps in mind this ordinance does not authorize the purchase of anything listed in that ordinance. This ordinance only authorizes the town to create the debt, to be able to take the borrow to get that. When we, if this ordinance is passed, administration would have to come back to council for each and every purchase on that ordinance. So if we want to buy a truck, we have to come and ask, we'd like to buy a truck under that authorization. We'd like to buy a roller. If further investigation by council reveals that they don't believe we need any of those particular items within that, which we believe we do, then you certainly have the right not to authorize that purchase. But those purchases aren't authorized by the introduction and adoption of this ordinance. This is just the first step to allow us to get to where we hope to be with our project. And what I would advise council, inform council on, is our current project this year anticipates, I believe, close to 30,000, 31,000, 35,000 lineal foot of road. That's what we had mentioned in the budget process. That's what we told you was our goal number to pave this year. We are about 4 weeks out of running out of money for material. We won't have any asphalt coming under the current funding sources that we have. and that's why we're looking to fund more product, more material, and hopefully get more equipment. So by authorizing the ordinance, we can then take the next steps, which we'll come back to council with for purchases going forward as we need them. But the first step is to get the ordinance approved authorizing the debt, so then we can all come back and ask for the purchases in future meetings. And I don't have to tell you, you're all experienced in these ordinances and the process, and the lengthy process in doing so, to delay that. Keeping in mind, we only have one meeting in July, would take us well into August, possibly September, without material before we make a decision on how we're going to fund getting more material. Because remember, we don't have money in the budget to buy material.
Do we have any money in any other bonds issues that we've approved in the past that didn't get spent on what we thought we were approving it for? So is there any money there?
That's what we're spending down now, that has about 3 to 4 weeks life expectancy in the schedule that we're keeping on paving now.
Now, I had heard that we lost the one employee that knew what they were doing with paving roads. Have we hired additional staff that's experienced? Because I've had complaints from the community that, yeah, it's a good thing we're saving money and whatever, but that the roads are not up to what quality should be.
Well, yes, we have lost one employee that had considerable knowledge. We have numerous employees that are very knowledgeable and have stepped up to the plate and are quite impressive. Picked up the machinery this year, started the first project was Meadowview. I encourage any of you to go down Meadowview, speak to any resident on Meadowview Drive, right out here off of 4 Mile Road, just past the post office. Make a right on that new road and speak to any of those residents that have been putting up with the road that they had and what they have. And I haven't heard, the only complaints that I've really heard on the road program have been here at the microphone at meetings when I was more present at the meetings. I haven't been receiving calls from any residents from any roads that we've done that our roads are inferior to any other roads. Actually, we get calls of thank you for doing our roads, and we are, we feel we're doing an adequate job and above standard job on the roads that we're doing.
Well, Dave, I just want to say, I think Mr. Gonzalez might have something to say to me. He keeps looking over here at me, so I think he might have a question or something. But I'm sitting here to answer it. I keep looking. Maybe he'll interrupt you and say, I need to ask Ms. Stinney a question. But listen, I want to say to you, it's okay. You can throw your hands up in the air. I want to say to you, thank you very much, because you explained a lot of my questions that I was going to put down. The experienced people, and I knew we put money aside when we first started out with this road for training some of the workers, and I do trust that our fine department kind of like know exactly what they're doing, and that answered that question. And the other question I did have was some of the equipment, did we purchase that last time, and was it kind of like the wrong kind of material equipment, or did it just break down? I know things break down, look, and then you can do about it, but
and I appreciate your comments on the employees and their experience, because they are doing one bang-up job out there. I give them a lot of credit for stepping up to the plate, and this year especially, knowing they lost what they were depending on, what they thought their experienced employee, and nothing against him, he's a very, very competent individual, but so are the individuals that we have, and they've done a really good job. The equipment is working fine. They were able to go out this year with the same equipment they had last year. They're doing the same work that they've done last year. They're putting down asphalt. It is performing. What we're looking to do is increase some of the equipment, such as the such as the truck. The skid steer that's on there is one piece of equipment that will expand into another department in the buildings and grounds, because we're going back and forth. We bought one for the paving program, and it's so much used during that the buildings and ground haven't been able to use it on our parks and so forth. So we're trying to get a second one because we've learned how valuable that piece of equipment has been. The one piece of equipment that we purchased works for us, but we're looking to improve on that. And if we don't get that right now, if this year you decide we don't need a roller, we'll get by without it, but we would prefer to put down a better road with the best equipment. And we feel that we can do this. Remember, we used to budget $1 million a year for our road program. If you look back into our budgets, into our debt analysis, you'll see $950,000 for bonding, because we were putting in 50, and we were getting our 6 roads, and that was just for roads and drainage. Here we're doing the roads, we're getting equipment, and I think we're doing it much more responsible.
Well, we need additional training for some of the other workers, or you think we're okay, or?
What we've done in the past was we've sent our employees to other towns. We had them going to Cinnaminson, we had them going to Hamilton Township, and they were training with experienced towns. They're the only real 2 large towns that we know of that are doing their own road program, short of Pemberton now, and they were learning the ropes there, which they brought back, and they're training, and they were training their guys last year. They're training new guys and gals this year. They've also they've taken online courses. There's actually an online course on how to do this that they've been able to set through a training seminar. So these guys are confident. They go out there. They're very confident of what they're doing, and I think the results, the product that they're putting out, show how confident they are and what their capabilities are. But without going forward with funding additional paving projects, we do no paving this year because we have nothing available to pave, and we have no grants. The one grant that we were hoping to get this year, which was Sepulga Drive, the DOT denied us that grant this year. It's the same grant that we did Tensol on. We tried to do on Sepulga this year, and Pemberton didn't get anything in that round of funding.
Well, while we have I'm sorry, was somebody talking? I'm sorry, what are you talking, Jason?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I was about to say something.
Well, while we have quite a few of our residents here, I appreciate that information, Dave, and maybe perhaps you can inform them of the roads that are coming up, and we have plans to do those roads, so maybe they can understand a little bit better, like you just explained to me, like I understand a little bit better.
If it's not on the web page, we will put it on there.
Okay.
I thought we did. I don't have them off the top of my head. I know we did Meadowview. They're working on the one off of down by Cybron. I forget the name of the road now.
Birmingham?
Not Birmingham. It's the one that runs to 206.
Brandywine?
Indian Run?
Indian Run.
Yeah, I believe it's Indian Run. Or Creek. Is it Creek over there? It's one of them. But it's the one along Cybron. They're doing that one.
And it may be, I'm sorry, it may be, I just haven't checked it myself. I was just out the other day, and as a matter of fact, it was going to be on one of my comments, so thank you so very much. There was
It's not on there. We'll get it on there so that the residents can track where we're going with the program, and they can keep an eye on, if they're on the list, and inquire if they want to be on the list. Everybody wants to be on the list.
Sure.
But obviously we have to use a priority system based on the need of that particular project.
And we still get Public Works to go out and get the #1 top priorities, because there was a 84-year-old veteran. He lives off of Hunter, the 100 block of Hunter.
Hunter's on our list.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So.
You'll check the web page and make sure it's on there.
Yeah,
and I promise you,
Hunter,
I'll go on there and look too.
Hunter, I believe is actually on our short list, but I'll check the web page.
Okay, would you do that for me? Appreciate it.
Two things.
Thanks for your explanation. Sorry, Jason.
That's okay. So in essence, what you're saying is, without this equipment, the road program for this year would essentially go away?
At least the material portion of the authorization. Again, you know, when we come to you for the purchases, if you approve the authorization with the ordinance, and when we come to you with the request for purchases, we would hope that you would, at the very minimum, approve the material aspect of it, because that's what's going to keep us going this year. And the equipment portion of the bond is what is part of our plan going forward to improve our program. And a good friend of mine and of this township often tells me, continues to tell me, you plan your work, then you work your plan.
That's right.
And, you know, that's what we try to apply here. That's Mr. Doherty. I know all of you remember Bill.
The second thing is, you mentioned prior to doing the roads in-house, we did about 6 streets a year. And I read somewhere that last year we did about 4 miles of road. What is going to be the expectation for this year?
This year, what, 35,000 rough? We're looking close to 7 miles would be our plan for this year. That's our goal.
Okay.
Are there any roads that are going to be contracted out?
Not
Not
at
this
this
year?
point. We hope that was our goal. If we could have got the NJDOT grant, we'd have contracted Sepulga out, but we didn't get the grant.
Mr. President, I just want to make it extremely clear, I don't want anybody leaving this room saying I was bad-mouthing our public works. My concern is they have the equipment that they need to do the best job that they can do. And we've already heard that maybe they didn't have the best equipment. If we're going to get a roller that's going to make the work look better, then that sounds like maybe they didn't. And that was my concern, and I do know that we did not have staff. And I'm sorry, looking at a video is one thing, actually going out and working and building roads. And I respect the people that have done that for years. And as I said, when they told me we weren't buying the right equipment then, that's why I brought it up, because I wanted to make sure our employees have what they need to do the best that they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for showing up tonight and explaining to us. I'm not throwing darts at you, trust me, I'm not. But thank you so very much. That saved me a lot of email and text.
And I hadn't intended to actually speak on this, but I'm glad I had the opportunity.
Dave,
Thank you.
one question real quick, Jason. The equipment that was brought previously is not necessarily the wrong equipment. The new equipment that you want to buy is to just make what the old equipment did just look a little better. Is it necessarily the wrong equipment?
Not the wrong equipment. Is it the best equipment? No. We will not sit here and tell you we went out and bought
But it's not the
a
wrong.
$1 million Barber Green paver that, you know, could pave the whole road in one pass. We didn't do that. We worked within our means, and we bought equipment that was adequate to get the job done, and we're getting that job done. We're just planning forward to increase the efficiency of our program and the betterment of the product that we're putting out by tweaking our equipment. We're not asking for another paver. We're not asking, you know, for another dozer, excavator. You know, this is a roller that will have a little different option than the one we currently have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's it.
Council, is there a motion to introduce ordinance number 11-2015?
Sure. I'll make the motion to introduce ordinance 11-2015.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion for ordinance number 11, 2015.
Public hearing will be.
June 7th will be the public hearing.
With public hearing on June 17th. Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Mrs. Skull?
No.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Moving on, for those that trickled in a little bit after we started, at the beginning of the agenda, we were supposed to have a presentation for the annual Fireball. scheduled to be started at 7 o'clock, so we'll move forward with that. Dave? And for anyone that does not know, the Fire Bowl instructs middle school students throughout the year in practical fire safety measures and in the more technical aspects of firefighting.
Well, Chief, you want to explain a little bit about the process in this?
Absolutely. 2 years ago, we partnered with the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety in a program that's called the Fire Bowl. It's been going on for many, many years. And students compete kind of like a Jeopardy. Yeah, this makes me sick. I'm sorry. It's kind of like a Jeopardy type of format, correct? And I was talking, because I work for the Division of Fire Safety, and I went into the coordinator and I said, hey, listen, I'm pretty sure we can get involved in this and do well in it. So I solicited Captain Petrillo, who was able to make contact with Kenny Taylor, who's, but he's an official Piney, right?
Yeah.
And a graduate of Pemberton Township High School, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Be an
Who is,
administrator at the school.
yeah, there you go.
It's not good enough to...
Anyways, he is the class coordinator, and we have assigned Captain Petrillo, who's a security officer at the middle school, who volunteered to help out. And what this did is we went in and assisted with providing him with some class trips and some education. So I'm going to let Captain Petrillo actually explain to you what the meat and potatoes of this is, and very briefly, and what their expectations were. And we have a very, very nice announcement after this, in particular one student. So, Cap.
Okay, so what we do is we get them together. They're learning right out of the Firefighter 1 book from the state. We teach them specific chapters, and they go and they take a test as a group and then one individual. That goes to the state. The state tallies it up. Last year we were probably below average. This year we were above the mark. So that's great that we were able to do that this year. Chief Augustoni, Assistant Chief Jacob, and myself teach all the classes. We take them right from the Firefighter 1 book.
And it's only the middle school, right?
Oh yeah, it's only Pemberton Middle School. Only those students. We're the only middle school in South Jersey. The next one is up in Freehold. It's mainly North Jersey, Woodbridge, Bayonne. We're the South. We're representing the South. So our students did very well.
You want to make the grand announcement, or you want to go? Okay, and then we'll make sure that he's recognized.
Okay.
Work the plan. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You did a very good job. You read that in a book, in the communication section. And we are the only school in Burlington County, like I said, that does participate in this, and in South Jersey, so good kudos to us. Once again, Pemberton's hitting the mark for good things. And now you, sir.
Okay. I want to thank our firefighters for taking the interest in doing this for our kids and getting kids involved. I think it's a great thing. I think that, you guys should be commended for what you're doing in enlightening students in fire safety, and to the students for stepping up and wanting to learn what it takes to be a firefighter, what you may want to do someday. It's a great thing. I really appreciate that, and we'll love to have you as volunteers someday here in our company and department. Okay, well, what we'd like to do is call you up and present some certificates of recognition for your accomplishments, and the certificate is presented by council and the mayor, and I'll put my glasses on so I can tell you what it says. And it's a certificate of recognition for participation in the 2015 Fire Bowl competition sponsored by New Jersey DCA Division of Fire Safety. The annual Fire Bowl competition instructs middle school students throughout the year in both practical fire safety measures and in the more technical aspects of firefighting and emergency medical treatment, as taught to recruit firefighters, culminating with a statewide competition that tests students' knowledge. And you guys did a great job in this competition as a team and as individuals, I hear. So, Chief, you want to announce the names?
I left my glasses.
Borrow mine?
You don't have any, this is not going to affect my skull.
Yeah, it'll all go to your head.
Imagine that. Brody Palfy, are you here? He's not. Okay. Elena Holbert, come on up. You just remain standing up here. Jalen Austin. There you go. Here. Caitlin Skolden.
Yeah.
She's not here, but let's recognize her also. Cheyenne Rains. She always asked a lot of questions. So.
That's good.
One of the competitions when they came to the firehouse for a duty crew was we had a time for them to get into their turnout gear, and so we said go, and they had to put their gear on. I'm not going to embarrass you, Bubba.
Wow.
The one student both times beat 2 firefighters getting dressed, so they're in remedial education right now. Brenda Jimenez, she's not here. And they're not here either. Dominic Jimenez, right? Not here either. And last but not least, this student ranked 3rd place in the state, right? In the whole state. David Doty.
Did Dave Doty come today? Oh, congratulations. I thought you were his brother. I mean, I watched this boy. I saw him when he was born. I think I got a cigar when he was born, actually. My goodness. I tell you, time flies. Congratulations.
And
great job.
his father is one of our employees.
Did you go into the 3rd place thing?
Huh?
You go into the 3rd place thing?
Yeah, I did that
okay.
right. You need your glasses?
Yeah, I need my hearing aid.
So, good job.
Yeah. But yeah, we want to congratulate all our students for an excellent job in presenting or representing Pemberton Township as a team and your individual performances. Great job.
Counselor, can you join us for some pictures real quick? Just stand real quick.
Not succeeding.
Yeah, thanks.
Really fast, on behalf of council, I'd just like to thank each of you for your leadership, your commitment, and your smarts. Continue to do great things. You said this was a Jeopardy-style bowl. Yeah, I'm not really great at Jeopardy, so you're definitely smarter than me. Anyone else from council, would they like to say anything?
Thank you.
I like give you a good job.
Does
Greg have it? Does Greg have it? The mic?
I asked them to speak to it, and we'll get even with them later. Thanks, guys.
Good job.
My last official mail Rudy tonight.
They must have had very good trainers.
Good job. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Ordinance for second reading, public hearing and/or adoption.
I thought we signed one.
Ordinance number 10-2015, an ordinance of the Township of Pemberton accepting the transfer of property located at 703 New York Road, Block 732, Lot 10, from Presidential Lakes Fire and Rescue Squad. This ordinance is now open to public comment. Mr. Tompkins?
Jack Tompkins, Pemberton Heights. You know, I come up here so much, I'm starting to get a little paranoid. A couple quick questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The seventh whereas, the property taxes. It kind of is, I don't know legalese. It kind of looks like maybe the property taxes will be due, but then it says remain unpaid, which means they aren't going to have to pay the property taxes. I just thought I'd ask that was question.
Well, when the squad was, that was an ongoing dispute in the litigation between the PL and the township. Historically, the property was not taxable because it was being used by the volunteer service.
Okay.
So, but that got put in flux due to what happened over the last couple of years. But that is part of the agreement or settlement agreement with Presidential Lakes. The township is dropping that claim.
Okay, well, since it's part of the ordinance,
Yeah.
I figured I'd ask,
Yeah, sure.
since I'm a taxpayer
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely. No, but we had not collected taxes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And $25,000 is a really good price. I wish we would got our previous three assets at that price. The next thing, I'm just going to tackle it head on. The property use for public purposes. At the previous meetings and some of the other discussions, we heard possibly putting fire trucks in there, maybe an EMS squad, recreational purposes and all that good stuff. That's great. But when I see public purposes, you could bulldoze a building and put a baseball field in there, and that's still a public purpose. So
I think, Jack, at the last meeting, we had discussed, as part of the settlement agreement, the property is going to be deed restricted. The township will have to use it for fire,
Dues and services.
fire, EMS, and it does allow for recreational because of the room, as well.
Okay, Andy, that's one of the questions I was going to ask next. So that is definitely going to be deed restricted.
Yeah, that's part of the agreement.
Okay.
Andy,
Yeah.
can I interrupt? Are we deed restriction or by contract?
I think deed, or both.
I believe we did contract on the last.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't have it I don't have the settlement agreement in front of me. I only had the ordinance.
I believe the agreement was there was a contract.
I think this one was a deed, Dave, but I'm not.
I think that's what we were told.
If I remember right, the first aid building over by the high school was deed restricted as well.
That's incorrect.
No, that was a contract.
That was a contract.
Yeah.
There's a contract
Positive
with
I
a.
heard in here it was deed restricted.
No, there's a contract with a reverter clause that if the township failed to use it for its intended purposes, it had to be sold at fair market value, and the proceeds would be turned over to the volunteer fire company to continue to provide service, volunteer service in the township.
Okay, I don't remember that.
But in this case, the property, if it's not used for those purposes, reverts back to PL, actually.
Okay. So we're not just going to bulldoze the building and use it for a ball field, or we're not going to use it for fire practice and torch the damn thing and nothing like that, right? Because we all know, once the township takes ownership, the administration can do anything they want with the building, just like the police
Yeah, but it's
locker
going to be
room.
subject to it is subject to that settlement agreement.
Okay, I'm trying to look out for the citizens of the township. You know, we all want fire out there again. I don't live out there, but, you know, I'm still a citizen of the township. And when I look at this, the verbiage in here is kind of, like I said,
Well,
once
the
the
ordinance
township...
the ordinance is a little broader, because all the ordinance really does is, under the local land and buildings law, any municipality, when it either sells or acquires property, has to do it by ordinance. But keep in mind that this was subject of a litigation and subject to a settlement agreement. So that agreement, which the council approved at the last meeting, is more specific than the ordinance. The ordinance is...
Maybe my days of looking at sales contracts where I get into each individual line item and stuff is coming up. But, you know, like I said,
Understand.
I've heard in this township before, in this room as a matter of fact, once we take ownership of a facility, administration can do anything they want to that facility. And if it's not specifically spelled out in this agreement, then that is what's going to happen. And that's what I'm worried about.
Well, you don't have to worry, because it's
I am
in
worried.
the agreement.
I am worried.
It's in the agreement.
Okay.
And it's as a result of a settlement of a litigation as well.
So next year when I come up here and talk, we're going to be saying it's the first anniversary of having fire trucks back out at PL, right?
I talked to those guys back there about that, but yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, in that same paragraph, the seventh whereas, Mr. Tompkins brought up the property taxes. It also says the property is free and clear of any liens. We're certain of that, correct?
Well, as part of the closing, we'll do a title search to confirm that that would be an obligation of Presidential Lakes at the time to convey the property.
And will you do the same thing as you did with the last properties we acquired, go through the Pinelands and all that good stuff to make sure there's no issues there?
I think that will depend on, that's not a condition of
The
closing.
Pinelands issue is only with respect to demolition.
Yeah.
And at this point, the property, we don't know that the property needs to be demolished.
So if we just torch it for fire training, it's not demolition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tompkins. Mr. Moss?
Tom Moss, trustee, Presidential Lakes Fire and Rescue Squad. Not a whole lot I wanted to say, but I'm just going to clarify a couple things that I just heard. Yes, there is a settlement agreement in place. Yes, there are deed restrictions which match pretty much word for word what the settlement agreement is.
Correct.
So, I mean, obviously we support that. Hopefully we come to them terms after many attempts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss? You have to come and speak into the mic.
And sign in.
Please sign your name, state your name, and make your comment.
Good evening. My name is Georgie Bell. I reside at 501 New York Road in Presidential Lakes. My question is that, based on what I read, excuse me, that it's going to, the firehouse, the fire trucks is going to return back there. There's going to be EMS or EMTs or whatever is there. Also, it's supposed to be a community center. I know there's some renovations that is needed in there. Is that also part of this?
Yes, after closing, administration will assess the building, and then we'll move forward from there.
Okay, how would the recreation center be run? I mean, would it be like the other recreation centers, like the other two? Yeah. Is it going to be run in that?
It's not a community center, it's going to be for community use, right,
the,
Dennis?
the building or parts of the building will be available for community use. There is...
So it won't be a community center, it'll be just for community?
I don't know who had indicated there would be a community center there.
Okay. So community use would be for the community within PL?
Well, anyone.
Or anybody could.
Anyone?
Residents and, yeah,
Theoretically,
anybody, yeah.
Okay. And the $25,000, where does that go? Who does that go to?
Goes to Presidential Lakes Fire and Rescue. It's payable to the not-for-profit organization.
Okay.
That organization is the owner of the property.
Okay, so it goes to the fire department?
No, that was not the fire department. It goes to, they were a independent volunteer organization that the town, that had supplied service to the township, and now they are the owner of the property, just like you could own property, so we're just paying, the township is paying that organization
In exchange for the property.
in exchange for the property.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Phillips.
Good evening, everybody in general.
Good evening.
Taken away but not forgotten. 1A forestation. In the condition we are in here tonight, because our administrator and our mayor department and the fire department. That's why. But I just hope that this administration, for this day on it, do not leave the resident Presidential Lake without fire service. We have been paying taxes since 2013, 2014, by 2015. We haven't seen fire service there. We as a resident should be reimbursed. For those people who called their insurance company, it went up to $500 more. And that was not fair for them. Fortunately, I was not one of those. I know better than that. Something happened, come and see these people here. To my rights. And that's what I got to send in reference to this. I know what is going on in the community in Presidential Lakes. And it's sad tonight to see the way it went down. Why? For administration is the blame. If I'm not mistaken, in the last meeting I was, the administrator stated that any firefighter or no firefighter or in the fire field has been denied to join. That's a lie. Okay? I don't want to take it out. I say that later on. But I just hope for this day on it, our administration stick with their word. Otherwise, we will be back here. Fire services will be back, and hoping you bring the same trucks. With I am a taxpayer and paying for that truck, and we don't have it in our community. Every single vehicle where you took away from us, I hope that you bring it back. Thank you, and I will come back.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. I'd just like to express that Presidential Lakes does currently have fire services, and also reiterate that that is the plan, that we would like to get the building up to par so we could continue those services.
Thank you.
Seeing Ms.
Good evening. My name is Susan Gazera. I'm a 36-year resident of Presidential Lakes. I've got two questions, and I will, piggyback onto what Mr. Allen said. When will the fire trucks be back in that building? And do the fire trucks re-entering that building depend on renovations being done to it first?
I'll start with your second question. I do believe the fire trucks being in that building depend on the renovations to the building. And Dennis, would you like to answer the first question?
The question really can't be answered until we are able to go in there and have our professionals evaluate the condition of the building and determine what improvements need to be necessary in order to start the process of bringing back vehicles and using it as a third location in our volunteer fire department and volunteer fire company and volunteer fire department.
Okay. Since the presence of fire trucks was discontinued, does it mean it has to be renovated up to code simply since there was a break in service?
My understanding is that the building is in very bad shape, so I don't know what's in there. So we need to have our professionals go in there once we own the property and evaluate the building.
Okay, so you can't give a timetable to the residents of Presidential Lakes as to when we will have fire trucks back in that building.
That's correct.
But that could happen after closing.
It doesn't sound like it's going to happen right after closing.
Well, what's going to happen after closing is that we have an opportunity to evaluate the building to determine how suitable it is and what needs to happen in order to make it suitable for the equipment. And we will be doing that in conjunction with the fire company and the fire department.
Okay.
I can't take a guess if I don't know what the condition of the building is
understand that,
and
but
what
I'm
is
saying-
necessary to put the building in
If
condition.
You're entering into this contract with this volunteer fire company to purchase this property. You're saying you're entering into this contract without evaluating the property first?
If we're obtaining the property without evaluating from PL, the Presidential Lakes Fire Company, without evaluating the property. We do expect that I can tell you that my expectation is that even if the building is in very, very bad condition, the value of the property far exceeds $25,000.
Oh, I agree 100%. My concern is the fire trucks being back in Presidential Lakes.
And they will be back in Presidential Lakes as soon as possible, depending on the condition that we find and the amount of time that it takes to fix whatever we find.
Okay. Well, I don't find that reassuring. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other public, Mr. Bailey.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Robert Bailey, 22 Woodland Avenue, Brownsville, New Jersey.
Thank you.
I've heard you discussing the paving of different roads, different streets and whatnot. I just want to know...
Does it pertain to this specific ordinance? Your
You
comment?
was discussing earlier
Yeah,
about the equipment for the...
for right now, we're just fielding questions and comments on this specific ordinance. And then we'll, if you could, yeah, you could make your comment at public comment,
Okay.
okay?
I just want to know if Woodland Avenue was included on that,
In
on
what?
the pavement.
Oh.
Road paving.
Is Woodland Avenue included in the paving?
Woodland.
I don't remember seeing it on the list.
Mr. Bailey, I'll get that response. Woodland Avenue? Yeah, I'll get that response and then get back to you. Miss?
Hi, my name is Teresa Eichvone, and I live on New York Road in Presidential Lakes. I would like to know, once you get into the building and see the condition, whether it needs to be raised or repaired, will you be doing one or the other, guaranteed, and will we be getting the fire trucks?
Yes.
Anybody?
Yes.
All I could say is I can answer the question in the same way that I did before. We need to go in there and evaluate. The plan certainly is that we have wanted from the very beginning. On September 17th, 2013, I sent a letter to Presidential Lakes Fire and Rescue Company, and I said to them, it is our sincere preference to maintain a Pemberton Fire Department presence at your location. With that in mind, I ask that your membership consider conveying your property to the township for use as a fire station within our consolidated department. That's what I told them on September of 2013, and we're still obviously interested in doing that because we wouldn't be here trying to obtain the property if we did not have that in mind for its use. It will happen. I can't tell you, I can't prognosticate as to what date fire trucks will be there because I don't know what the condition is, and I don't know from an engineering and construction perspective what it is that we need to do in order to get it ready for the fire company and the fire department.
I didn't ask for a date. I asked specifically, regardless of what you had to do to get that building prepared for fire trucks, firefighters, EMS, and their personnel, will we have a fire station with fire trucks so that we in PL can rest easy?
Well, we have to keep it.
Miss, this response might help you a little bit. But prior to the meeting, I asked Dennis specifically, will there be trucks operating out of the building? He said the plan is that we will get the building into